While they may be fun to live in, these locations definitely aren't fun for your bank account. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most expensive places to live. For this list, we're taking a look at those places in the world that have ranked highly in research studies and surveys, mainly for expatriates based on the high cost of living. Notoriously expensive cities like Luanda in Angola didn't make the cut since we're looking at total living costs and not just the price of random goods, such as the average $243 you'd have to spend to buy a pair of blue jeans there. Please bear in mind that prices and cost of living are constantly fluctuating, and thus the prices presented in this list are subject to change. Number 10. Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Although it's notable for its scenery, cleanliness, ethnic diversity, and mild temperatures, this coastal seaport city is also infamous for having Canada's most expensive housing market and for being one of the world's least affordable major cities. In mid-2014, the average home in Vancouver cost almost $800,000, and a standard condominium apartment cost up to $720,000 in parts of the city. With hundreds of attractions in this picturesque city of Western Canada, you have to visit. But unless you're itching to spend some money, think twice about staying. Number 9. San Francisco, California, USA. Although New York has frequently made appearances on lists of the priciest cities in the United States, it has yet to be beat by sunny San Fran. Renting a one-bedroom apartment here at the beginning of 2015 cost a median of $3,400, $400 higher than the same apartment in New York. With sky-high rent prices and buying prices rising ever more, as Silicon Valley wealth continues to flood the city, the cost for tourists isn't much better. Hotels, restaurants, and transportation here are among the most costly in the US. Number 8. Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. It may be down under, but the price tags are up over. The biggest and arguably flashiest city on this country continent, buying property here will cost no less than $700,000, as this most expensive of Aussie cities is known for having some of the most overvalued houses in the Western world. Combine that with high food, drink, clothing, and recreation prices, and men's haircuts that average around $30, and you've got yourself a city that expatriates looking to save a buck should avoid. Number 7. Oslo, Norway. There's lots to see in this Northern European capital city, as long as you don't mind paying for it. Imagine walking into the average restaurant and spending $20 on a pint of beer. Yes, as of 2014, Oslo was the most expensive place in the world to buy beer. It could cost $900 to buy a suit and close to $10 for a dozen eggs. And while the cost of rent isn't as high as a place like San Francisco, the cost of everything else is mind-blowingly high. Number 6. Hong Kong, China. Though it's one of the most densely populated cities in the world, and certainly a major tourist attraction, moving here just might introduce you to a few heart-stopping financial realities. After buying some expensive imported groceries at your local store, filling up your car with fuel that costs over $2 a liter, and stopping for a coffee that costs $6 a cup, you would head to your average two-bedroom apartment that costs almost $7,000 a month to rent. This is one city where a vacation just might be cheaper than a staycation. Number 5. Zurich, Switzerland. Though it was a close competition between this major Swiss city and Geneva, where a city-based apartment generally costs almost $16,000 a square meter, Zurich has won our title of most expensive Swiss city. Just to give you an idea of how expensive, in 2012, it was 70% more expensive to live in than New York. And the Big Apple isn't exactly what you'd call affordable. Featuring average cocktails and movie tickets at more than $20 and over $50 for a men's haircut, this is one city that'll make you appreciate where you live. Number 4. Moscow, Russia. High inflation is just one of the reasons this Russian capital is a pain for foreigners to live in. Try to get used to spending almost $7 for a liter of milk and almost $9 to buy a newspaper. And if you're just visiting for a time, Beware of the pricing system in place for tourists. Since foreigners are charged much higher than locals, a taxi trip that would cost a local $5 might cost you $25, and a hotel room can double or triple in price after you book it. Number 3. Singapore. With the average citizen making a bit over $3,000 a month, and average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment costing the same, this city-state and commercial hub leaves residents with very little to no disposable income to put away for a rainy day. If you manage to tuck a few dollars away a month to purchase a new family car, something like a Volkswagen Golf for example, get ready to tuck for a while. It'll cost you well over $90,000. Sometimes it's worth it just to walk to work. Number 2. London, England. Welcome to our list's most expensive city of the Western world. With high rent, transport costs averaging $200 a month, and fuel sometimes costing more than double what it is in Los Angeles and up to almost $3 a liter. It's a gorgeous and historic city that nevertheless exerts quite the toll on its people. Also, one of the most expensive major cities in the world to buy electronics. There have been pushes in the last few years to bring the chokehold employers have on their employees' wages to an end. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Tokyo, Japan. While inflation and cost of living fluctuates from week to week, month to month, and year to year, Tokyo's consistently notorious prices have earned it the top spot as the most expensive city in the world. Although Osaka also boasts insane costs, Tokyo is where a trip for 2 to the movies will set you back over $65, with just a pair of tickets costing over $35. In addition, a cup of coffee averages close to $7, and a 1-bedroom apartment could go on sale for more than $23 million. Now, if those figures don't make you want to cry, we don't know what will. Do you agree with our list? What costly cities do you think should be on our list? For more informative top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.